Welcome back to Upfront. On November 9th, 2004, Kenosha police officers shot and killed 21-year-old Michael Bell as they were trying to take him into custody after a traffic stop. Police dashcam video captured part of the events. A Kenosha Police Department reenactment shows officers trying to restrain Bell when one yells that Bell has his gun. Another officer fires a shot at close range into Bell's head. Kenosha police did their own internal investigation, and the district attorney at the time deemed the shooting justifiable. But the city settled out of court with Bell's family. Michael Bell's father has used the settlement money to put up billboards around the state calling for change in the way these investigations are handled. And he's backing a bill that would require officer-involved deaths to be reviewed by independent authorities. Michael Bell joins us now on Upfront. Thanks very much for taking a few minutes to be with us today.
Glad to be here, Ken.
This has been a long and very personal journey for you. Why is it so important?
Well, I believe that as a retired Air Force officer and having a blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy killed under a spotlight with 5 eyewitnesses, that if I can't get this done, then nobody's going to be able to get this done, because I have the education and the resources and the commitment to get this done. So I recognize that there's a problem here, and I think fundamentally everybody recognizes that self-review is inappropriate. The approach that you've taken, the billboards around the state, is a rather unique approach, I guess, designed to turn up the heat on lawmakers through the court of public opinion. How's it gone for you so far? Just today, we were fortunate enough to be recognized in USA Today as a feature, state by state, of what we're doing. So obviously, I think that's a real good measure of how's it going. I mean, actually, this might be a breakthrough for the nation.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of attention here in Wisconsin and now nationally, as you mentioned during the current USA Today that's out. But that isn't your goal. Your goal is to get new legislation on this. There is a bill pending. Where does it stand? AB 409 was drafted by a retired Chief Deputy Sheriff, Representative Byes, and was co-authored with Representative Chris Taylor out of Madison. And that bill has been drafted. We had the first public hearing of this type of legislation in the nation on December 12th, and right now it's going to go to Executive Committee on the Criminal Justice Committee for the state, for the Assembly. And supporters might look at this and say, this is a no-brainer. Of course you don't want a department investigating itself. You wouldn't want any other agency or business to investigate any concerns about wrongdoing that they may have been alleged to have committed. But there's a lot of opposition to this, and where is that coming from? What are you running up against?
There's opposition. You know, good departments and good officers have no problem with what we're asking. If you take a quick look at the bill, it's pretty fundamental. But we are getting some opposition, and I believe it's probably coming from the Police Chiefs Association. I'm speculating. They're saying, how dare, we have a family come in here and tell us what to do or whatever. But like I said, good departments and good officers don't have a problem with this, because when they're doing the job right, they know that they can clear any kind of review.
Do you have any concerns at all that an independent review might consist of judges or those looking at a particular case who may not be familiar enough with the circumstances, who may not be able to offer a fair assessment?
I'm a retired Air Force officer. I was a pilot, and I continually use this story. If I was in a combat situation and I had lost a weapon system, or I had lost lives associated with my command, I don't want to be reviewed by a dentist or a librarian or something like that. I want to be reviewed by pilots. But I don't even want to be reviewed by pilots that are junior to me. I need the senior pilots, the most respected pilots in our industry, to take a look at my actions and determine whether my maneuvers that I did in the cockpit saved my life and maybe caused a problem. Same thing with law enforcement. A police officer, if he's on the street and he has to take someone's life, they need to know that it's being reviewed by the highest and most respected authority in the state of Wisconsin.
This has been a nearly decade-long journey for you. Where do you stand right now? How optimistic are you that there's going to be new legislation?
I'm confident. I'm confident. Maybe not exactly what Michael Bell wants or the Michael Bell family wants, but I do believe there's going to be something I do believe there's going to be a change.
And if there is, then what? Is that the end of the journey? Is that the ultimate goal for you?
It depends on where we're at. I mean, nationally, we need to move towards this type of independent review. You know, most of us recognize that the Airline Pilots Association, if you have an accident, it's reviewed by the National Transportation Safety Board. If you have a trucking accident, it's reviewed by Department of Transportation. Why should law enforcement be any different? Why should law enforcement be allowed to review itself in its entirety?
Michael Bell, appreciate your time. Thanks very much for being with us
today.
Thank you. Next, new rules are about to take effect on mortgage lending. Why some customers could find it harder to get a loan when we come back. But first, here's the WisPolitics week ahead.
The legislature's powerful Joint Committee on Finance meets Wednesday to consider a $44 million